Peace, 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 peace. We always got to set the atmosphere, man. We always got to set the atmosphere, man. We here to connect the dots. You see, I got on my native attire, man. So we must connect the dots. If you missed the film earlier, what I showed you today, when you research the scriptures and you understand ancient language, not modern Hebrew, but Paleo Hebrew, and in the scriptures, you got to understand what the Ephah mean, what the Viper people mean. When you connect the thing that when you connect the Africans in Asia, when you understand why Buddha sits on the seven serpents and why they call us the serpent people, you got to connect the dots more. So I teach the dialect. I show you the book where one of the oldest books that's still out that connect these dots is The History of the American Indians by James Adair. I want you to research this for you can figure out things for you can know for yourself, because you should want to eat things and see, okay, let me read it and then understand the context and then ask questions, because we're here to study, man. We're not hearing religious dogma. That's why no heckler will ruffle my feathers. I tell Moors, you will know if someone under religious dogma. When you talk about history, they get mad. So there's no reason to debate with nobody. This is scholarship, and I give you all the resources to ask for yourself. So if you don't know the language, and when brothers say they scholars and historians, and the first thing I ask them, are you in linguistics? They say, what? I say, well, you can't be a historian. You can't be a historian if you don't know linguistics. I'm sorry, Moors. Impossible. Impossible. But this connect the dots. This is some of the work that many scholars postulate that the Book of Mormon was partially inspired by Adair's work. When I tell Moors, the Mormons, when they come with that stuff, the Curse of Ham, they don't understand. John Smith know what he wrote and know where he got that history from the view of the Hebrews. He know all that, but people won't tell you. I'm telling you. The rest of Adair's work contains insight that can never be rediscovered or elaborated on. It says that, as such, said, this book remains one of the most valuable and cited primary sources on the subject, Moors. The wars and gradual conquest of the Native American tribes by white settlers left precious little of their culture available. When I keep telling y'all, the Empress, Moors. Queen Annie of the Jamaican Maroons, Moors. Moors. Everybody Moors. 10 tribes of Israel, per se, Moors. All Moors. One nationality with many cultures. You're just not reading enough. That's why I said Moors. What do our cards say? We respect and obey all the laws and the prophets. Yahweh, which is Jesus in their language. Yahshua, Confucius, Buddha, Muhammad. And when brothers get mad when they come with their religious dogma because they've been somebody giving them something, and I say, brother, I don't get caught up in religious dogma. I take you way back and show you how the pen was changed in first century. Show you how the pen was exactly changed. So you got to know what that Ephah mean, man, and that Sarah. Understand what that Viper mean. Understand what the kingdom is and what the angels are. You know, if you go on my page, I did a lecture on the Yoso Somo code. I did it. The palindrome, what that is. Y'all to the right, y'all to the left, what that is. The Yoso Somos code. I mean, this is scholarship. I don't hear to debate nobody. I do lectures all over. Scholarship. So, as we were saying, give me one sec. What was that? What did he say? Oh, I see it. Okay, so let's get with this teacher, man. Oh, before I get into this teaching, another book I recommend my brothers to get. Do you see this? I'm telling you, you got to connect the dots and you remove all the veil of religious dogma. This is a science. And if you don't understand the science, then you in your feelings. This is a science. If you don't have this, I'll tell you what it is. It's the jubilation of the sacred Moor science, past and present. I hope you have this, Moors. To get that, I mean, it's some more literature, but I can't pull it all out. I'll pull 2 of them out for you real fast, for you can see, and I hope you can get if I know where I put them. Let me see. My library's full. Let's see. Let's see where those 2 pieces of literature I put. for you should have. I know I ain't leave them outside. Oh, it's right over here to my left. Duh. I got so much stuff everywhere. Wait, is it over here? Yeah, it's right here. I hope you got your Circle 7. I hope you got that. So we know that. I'm only I'm gonna show you a little bit more. You got to know this. You got to live this stuff. This ain't nothing you think you can read. Just like chakra, just like everything else, you have to live it. All this stuff I have on don't mean nothing if I don't live it. If you can't check me out and say, well, yeah, this man live it. This ain't just nothing we wear. The stuff we wear means things. I mean, I got a whole bunch more, man, but I ain't finna pull all this stuff out, man. Divine Creed of Moorish Islam, all the Secret Brotherhood of the East, all that stuff, man. You know, just some things, all the Moorish pamphlets, the Holy Nation State, all our stuff. I mean, so you don't have to argue with nobody. I tell Moors to read it. This will put you on the right path, and you will know who operating in love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Because we say the same thing, no matter if you like it or not. I tell people, you do the right thing. Every Moor is not right, but you get nationalized the right way, do the thing, and study the right way, you will shut all evilness down. Because you're supposed to check the character. You're supposed to check the character. You know? So, it ain't even nothing to even debate. When brother be talking that adapt chamber stuff, ask them, do they have the real adapt chamber stuff? Here you go. This is it. You know, can't nobody make nothing up and say they're gonna see each other. If it ain't what the prophet had and shared with his people, it's some brothers made up. I'm telling you. Just showing you a little wisdom, man, history where you can catch things at. You know what I mean? I'm just showing you a little nuggets where you can catch things out. You can be like, okay, and you can see stuff for yourself. And you can look at the people. You can look at the people. You can see the language. You can trace the stream. Like I tell Moors, we get so connotated. Like when I tell brothers, we always talking about the Baphomet. Let me show you something. Let me see, can I find my book? Where my Eliseus Levi book at? I know I got it in here somewhere. Here we go. All right. Like this. And see, I just keep fact, like the European Eliseus Levi. When I say, of course, it's nothing scary. We know that. We got to know what the Baphomet meant. When I tell brother Kabbalistically spelling, Kaaba it just mean the Temple of David. It's Kabbalistically spelt. I have to do that again for my brothers and sisters. I have to do that lecture all over again and tell you. They're getting you caught up in signs and symbols because they don't want you to know. The Baphomet, if you look at it, it's spelled Kabbalistically. It means something. I'm telling you. You got to look what's on the arm. Look at the male and female. Look what's on the head. The 5. Arm, leg, arm. Look at the spirit man. When we all have the animal instinct. But then the European Eliseus Levi, he got that from the Egyptians. King Kunt. The god of the river Nile. I'm telling you, Moors. Everything comes from Moors. Everything. And from our nationality. When I talk about the shamanic experience. I'm telling you, man, don't let nobody get you caught up. This is our science. I teach this science. I live this life. What I was just doing, this is us. The animal instinct is yours. The feathers, everything is ours. The black feather means something. We were the feather people. The scriptures tell you, man. We must study and connect the dots. All this stuff, with what you see, what I'm rocking today, what I'm showing my brothers, is yours. It's all yours. I promise you. All yours. All yours. One nationality, many cultures. We all have our animal instinct, and some people try to suck your energy. Man, let me give you a little wisdom real fast before we get in this lecture. Below the diaphragm, you got your power center, the root chakra. Beneath the feet, allows you both to draw energy up from the earth and to put energy into the earth. It also grounds or roots us. Power center, the feet chakra between the ankles, is related to movement and balance and equilibrium. When I say you must stand on your square and be grounded and to be grounded and rooted. Power center, the base chakra at the bottom of the spine, connects to the motor nerves and is concerned with survival and protection. It reaches to stress. That's why I'm telling you, if you stress, that's fear. Power center, the sacral chakra, is concerned with motivation, with sexuality. They're getting you all scary. I'm telling you, I showed you Brother Pascal, the one that Blavatsky, when all they got out of Blavatsky, where they get the wisdom from. They tell you she was studied by a Bay. Research the wisdom. I tell you, I connect all the dots. I be telling brothers, yeah, I got the connotated wisdom and the denotated wisdom. I'll show you where it all come from. Even the Celtic magic. When I show brothers and sisters, I'm like, look, they do things to keep you away from your wisdom. That's why I tell people, if I can, all I do is just change the picture. Change it, and we get all stupid because we so worried about what color somebody is. And I say, man, light or color, light and dark has nothing to do with how much melanin you got. I promise you. You see, now look, Celtic magic. Look how they got the lady on here, all in Moorish clothing. And you look at it, you be like, oh, that's some bull crap. And when you open it up, it talk about you. It all your wisdom. And I'll be laughing at Moors. They don't even, and Moors don't even know the 7 Kemetic principles is right in the Circle 7 Quran. That's why I keep telling the brother, oh, they Egyptian this. I say, brother, or this, or masonry this. I say, do you know what the workman tools is? Evidently not. All our science. I keep telling brothers, I say, that's why I be laughing. When I be speaking Circle 7 Quran around brothers, and they say, you some Mason, I said, fool, I ain't no Mason. I'm a Moor, part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I got the 32 and 30 degrees in the temple, fool. I'm all the way to the 99th primitive right. I'm all the way to the 720. 360 is the total sum of material wisdom. 720 is the total sum of man, and, of spiritual and material. You must master your higher self. Brothers still operating on their lower self because they so concerned about filing some paperwork. They so concerned about filing some stuff in court. They don't even know law. I'm telling you, they operating under their own understanding. And there's no light in them. Because when the light come, it burn their butt. Because I say research it. That's why brothers, I keep telling brothers, these groups that ain't operating under the laws and divine creed and making their own stuff, it's not more science, I promise you. But all this stuff, they keep it away from us. They don't know Mo, they don't know where the 4-leaf clover, they don't even know about the Twa people. They be like, oh, they don't know the Twa people are the real leprechaun. That's why I be laughing at people. I be like, man, I'm not even going to go there. Man, I can go more. That's why I said I'm a historian. Let me show my brothers and sisters something. We're going to get into this lecture. Let me see if I can find one of these books about the first American were Africans per se. Let me see if I can find it. And I'm going to show you something. I don't know if my parents got it. I got them out here. You know, they snowbirds, so they come visit me, spend time with me. Let me, hold on. Let me see. I know Moore's got this. I hope y'all do. I hope Moore's got this, but let me see, can I find this book? Hold on. Ba ba ba. Boom boom. See, man, you can check the spirit. Okay. So I hope you have this. I hope you got this, Moors. You better history. That's why I said I'm a real business, man. Yes, I'm a Moor. I have my own nonprofit. My profit is the Burning Bush Science Temple and School. My school is called the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Yes, I'm a Moor. I'm a businessman too. I've been a businessman all my life. That's why I went to college and got degrees. So I can operate. So I can be a business for myself. I don't file no taxes. Don't nobody take nothing from me. I have my own. I'm a Moor. I got the tax ID from the Moor. And I have my own. Do y'all hear me, Moors? I'm a businessman as well. I have my own tax ID. I'm a businessman. I teach this. Y'all see all my cards, what it say? Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. All my credit, everything, all my cards, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, my home, everything. Because you a business. I teach this to everybody and they do it. And when I teach this on the college campus and the high schools and the elementaries, their parents do it. No matter if you white, black, orange, purple, green, their kids graduate. And they graduate with business credit. And we don't. We don't understand about it. I show the kids how to get insurance when they in middle school. And when they graduate, they can cash in on that. We don't understand. We don't understand it. Real business. Real business. We have to. How you think you're going to change your neighborhood and you can't even operate? You can't get stuff donated to them. You ain't a nonprofit. Nobody gonna give nothing to you. No rich people gonna give nothing to you. They want a write-off. Do you understand me? I show you how to. Why you think all rich people got nonprofits? Y'all don't understand this wisdom. Charter communities. Y'all don't get this wisdom. We just arguing. We can do this. I'm real. It's brothers that's real. But like I was talking about, like my brother was talking about the Twa people. I'm gonna show you in here. The first Americans were African. Let me show you some people. Let me show you some people real fast, so we don't get things twisted. Let me get into this lecture. Let's see. Can I got a man. Let me see. I should have highlighted, but when I'm talking and when I'm speaking, I have so much stuff, and it pertains to the topics that I'm talking about, and I always want to show my people, for they can look and say, okay, well, there you go. Okay, like I told my brothers and sisters, Roots, it was all fake. It was by Colander. It was a book he wrote by the African. Alex Haley got sued. He talked about some Kunta Kinte was his cousin or descendant. All that stuff was fake. What's up, honey? I'm trying to find this picture, y'all, of these little short mound builders. Babe, can you go if can you look in here? I just flicked to see since you're here. I'm finna use my wife, my Empress. Let me see. Then let me get back to this. If you can see, it's a little picture in here with the European when he came to the Americas and they found the little. Okay, let me show you the mound. Let me show you something right here. African structures in Central and South America. Let me show you the little look. Let me show you that. Let me look at that, Morris. I'm telling you, when you get this wisdom, I did this on campus, man. Those are the mounds. Let me see, can I find the picture of the people real fast, because I want to get into this little teaching.
You done with me?
Yeah, I'm done with you, babe. I'm gonna show you mound sketch drawing by Mauro Hosty and a Vermont mound, courtesy of Mid-Atlantic Geometry. Yep, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, that's why I said I don't get into no arguments with nobody, man. That's a waste of breath. A person to show you their hand, and so I'll be done. Because Allah, the spirit, y'all, that they deal with that. I don't fight no battles, man. I'm a family man. I'm a noble man. But if you come at me wrong, then that's a whole nother issue. Like, man, it took a while for me, Morris, to even start talking about my baby brother that got murdered by a Negro. That's why I'm sincere in everything I do. When I tell y'all we are the Vikings, let me show you something. When they be trying to connotate stuff. UPS? All right, 1 second. Honey, somebody UPS out the door. That's what he said. See that, Mose? You got it, babe? All right. So let me show you the picture. Let me see, can I get the picture? Ah, got it, Mose. Got it. Here we go. Here we go. W.I. Morton, head of the Department of History and provost of the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg, Canada, is the executive editor of the Canadian Centera series. Don't y'all know who all in Canada? I mean, who all in Haiti? Them Canadians. I'm telling you, man, it's all deep, which is 17 volumes long. But anyway, I'm going to show you a picture. Okay, let me see. The following data from the first volume of the 17 volume written by Trygve J. Olsen details the origins of the Eskimo. It is the central thesis of this book that the Dorish people antedate, which means preceded, the Tunit, the Caucasian Icelanders, and that they were the Skarelings, Skraelings, of the sagas, the Pygmy, and the present day Eskimos are the result of an intermixture between the Dorish people and the Tunit, that is the Iceland. Look at the people, Moles. You see? You see the short people? You see? Come on, man. And when and then they try to get in the scriptures, they get you with some pseudo a doctor talk about some Alexander, what's his name, Zachariah Stitchin, talk about some Anunnaki, some aliens, and in the scriptures, the Anak is us. It's us, Moors. I'm telling you, tall, copper-colored people. Manute Bol, damn near 8 feet, ain't he? So if some short people, especially some Europeans, go to an area and find some tall people, what you gonna say? Giants. Connect the dots. You got to get into ancient history. Get out of that modern language. If you don't understand linguistics, you caught up in linguistic apartheid. So that's just a little a touch I want to show Moors. So let's get into this little teaching. Cause the wife she got stuff in there smelling good. She got stuff in there smelling good. Oh man, let me show y'all something real fast. Mo, you gonna have me going all over the place, man. I'll be answering too many questions, Mo. I'll be going all over the place. I won't even give you a chance to get the scripture. That's why I said all our stuff is in the museum. Look in the Smithsonian Museum and look at the picture of the so-called ancient American, and it looked just like the Empress with a lot of her clothing on. A lot of our artifacts, everything in the museums. Babe, is my she knows she be coming here. I'll be putting her to work.
So I need to stay out.
Let me show you something, Mose. Y'all see this right here? Y'all see this right here, Moors? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. St. Mark, you see that? You see that, right, Moors? Watch this. Let me read something to you. Tell you, man, the museums. That's what I have two of my mentors, our professor, one at Harvard, one at Cambridge, and one is like the curator at the Smithsonian Museum. And so I'll be laughing. Like I said, when I pull out some of my documents of stuff that's in the museum, it hurt my heart, man. Because there's no argument. But let me read something to you. Porphyry sculpture originating from Constantinople, the Tetrarchs or the Tetrarchs or Moors, 4th century Egyptian art. 4th century Egyptian art. 4th century Egyptian art. Telling you, the Moors are Egyptians too. We came down from Nubia, man. Connect the dots. The River Nile, man. That's Mexico. Telling you, man. How you think some of us had certain things in our bloodstream that didn't grow here? We was on that river. They call us pirates. We wasn't no damn pirates. We was navigators. How you think giraffes got to other certain areas? We took that stuff there. Come on, man. We took it's certain animals only indigenous to Africa, Moors. Use your hippocampus. Use your hippocampus. We get out of that spookism. This wisdom right here. You got no to be arguing with nobody. Somebody with their religious dogma because they've been lied to. Because in organized religion, they don't want you to research. Man, organized religion, and if I'm wrong, I've been through all the fire. Listen to what I'm saying, Moors. In Christianity, God and man is not one. In Arabism, in Al-Islam, God and man is not one. In Moorish Science Temple, our religion is Islamism, and God and man is one. Why wouldn't a brother man or anybody righteous wouldn't want to be a part of that? This history tell you all about who you are. History. When I tell people about the Viking world, when I break it down, when I show you how they tried to whitewash all pictures in history. I did a whole lecture on that. I'm telling all you. I promise you. I'll show you. We don't got time. We gonna do that another day. The Parthenon. I'll show you where you all at in all these books. I'll break down. I'll get you all the Hebrew books, the Pentateuch and the Haftarahs, the Nag the Hammadi, or the Nag Hammadias. I got the Maimonides. I got all the books to the Bible, the ancient book of Yasher, the Gad and Seer, all the books, the Secret Om, all the books that they took out. They tell you, Gad and Seer, how Islam and the Roman, which is the same, conspired, which that false doctrine, which I tell brothers and sisters, don't you know, anti-mean replacement? So if they weren't Hebrew, what anti-mean replacement? Jesus Christ is the replacement. That's the Antichrist. But we won't even go that way. We all worried about some spooky stuff. And I say it's already there for you. That's why that's not our forefathers. I keep telling you, the Hebrew God, we getting things wrong. Do you think a Hebrew God called himself by a Greek name? And all in the Moors, what we go by the Hebrew diet. If you look at your Circle 7 Quran, it tell you about the Hebrew God. It tell you we pray to certain things to the Hebrew God. We pray to our manifestation to the Hebrew God. I know y'all know that, right, Moors? I know y'all know that. If my Moors know where it's at, get your Circle 7 Quran and somebody tell, and that's some homework. I got it right here. I'm looking right at it. But I want to do the Moors know so we can connect the dots. It's in your Quran, Moors. It's right in here. It's amazing. When we read it to you, you know what chapter it's in, Moors? Yes or no? Moors, do you know what chapter it's in? I ain't even gonna tell you what chapter it's in, Moors. I'm gonna read it to you. It's on a particular matter of fact. The Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom, defied. He brings to us a knowledge of the secret things of Allah. Did you hear me, Moors? You know what I'm reading from? I'm reading from our book. That's why I'm saying we connected out. Let me read this to you again. The Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom, defied, Moors. He brings to us a knowledge of the secret things of Allah. So the Hebrew God, the circle of the seven, the pantheon of gods, he brings to us a knowledge of the secret things of Allah. And all the world will hear his words and glorify his name. You priests of the temple, Kapavistu, stay, be still and listen. When he speaks, he is the living oracle of Allah. Man, are you hear me? Do you hear me, Moors? And all the priests gave thanks and praised the Buddha of enlightenment. The Buddha of enlightenment. Did y'all hear that? The Buddha of enlightenment. Connect the dots. We respect and obey all the laws and the prophets. Moors, stop letting people lie to you. Let me show you one more thing, and we're going to get into this lecture. Let me read one more thing to you in the Silent Brothers of the East. When brothers be lying, Noble Drew Ali didn't do that. Well, okay, well, somebody say divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali, so whatever. For the Moorish Science Temple of America, people just want to keep you away from wisdom. And I say, if a person wrong, you get the wisdom and you leave the rest alone. You see? So I'm in a specific chapter because I want Moors to study. I want to connect. If I do all the homework for you, then it's nothing for you to do. It won't mean nothing to you because I've done it all. Looking it back, listen to this. Look what they got. They got the red book, Literature for the Moorish Science Temple of America. They got the prophet in the front. Sincerity, Literature for the Moorish Science Temple of America. They got Garvey. Now watch this. Now watch, just like the Circle 7, just like our book, when I be telling Moors, what's the chapters of our book and our Quran? Let me read some to you. Death and Burial of Elizabeth, Mattheo's Lessons, Matheno's Lessons. What's that? That's Kemetic Principles. Matheno's, y'all got to connect dots, Moors. Y'all be talking about stuff and I'll be like, are you connecting it? The Missing Jesus, the search for him. His parents find him in the temple. Life and works of Jesus in India. The friendship of Jesus and Lamech. Jesus explains to Lamech the meaning of the truth. Jesus revealed the people of their sinful ways. Jesus, and bro, Jesus. But you got to understand what he's saying when people just be lying. So let's dig. All this, same thing. Life works, Jesus in Joseph's home at the age of 7 years. The life and works of Jesus at the age of 10 years. Jesus talks to the rabbi of the 10 Commandments. Jesus again, his first year of divine ministry. Jesus presented with his camel, etc. So let me get to the part where I want to talk to y'all about. Jesus received the mystic name and number and passed the first brotherhood test. The master took down from the wall a scroll on which was written down the number and name of every attribute, character. And he said this, and I'm glad I'm talking about this because I have family that's Muslims. And I said, man, if you believe in somebody so much and you don't research it and you take their word, that's not scholarship because I can stand to be corrected because I'm not all knowing. But one of my family members was like, well, you know, in the certain scriptures, Zechariah, I think he was talking about Zechariah chapter 5, talking about spaceships, aliens. I said, man, you must don't know language. And he almost cried. He said, well, why would they tell us that? I said, man, because he's giving you the esoteric. If I want to just get you with my silver tongue and my eloquence, I can do that until you don't research. That's religion. But he's talking about a scroll. He's talking about things to go by. No spookism. When you see old religious writings and you say, look at that in the air, it's a spaceship. It's somebody to call it a spaceship. You're not even understanding the essence of that. You're not even understanding the essence of that, Morris. We're not even understanding what we're talking about, what that's going on. When I be talking about angels and the fight against good and evil, you don't even understand what I be talking about. When I be talking about duality, everything I be talking about is us, heaven and hell within, hot and cold is within, happy and sad is within. The thermostat, hot and cold, it's just a degree where the pendulum swing. So let's get into this wisdom. The master took down from the wall a scroll in which was written down the number and name of every attribute, character, and he said, the circle is the symbol of the perfect man, and the 7 is the number of the perfect man. The logos is the perfect word, that which creates, that which destroys. You know, logos is Greek, but who is explaining? The Hebrew God. Why? It's in the Septuagint, because it's in here. See, I just break all the stuff down, man, and eliminate all lies that somebody will give to you. This ain't no first Bible. It's theirs that's interpreted in Greek, but it ain't from the language to English to Hebrew to that. You got to look at the language. You got to look at the pen. That's why I said I interpret everything, so we know what the pen says. I'm telling you, Morris, this is a science. This ain't no joke. You go to court and talk about, yep, this is what I believe in, and yep, and this is it. Not. The Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time. Did you hear that, Morris? I know. Let me put my specs on, because I don't think I can see straight. Let me see. I look studious now with my glasses on. My wife like, boy, you crazy. I know. But let me say that again. The Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time, Morris. And in the record book, the scribe wrote down, that's what that Zechariah is, the scribe. Exactly, Mo. Most Christians have no idea what a Septuagint. I know, Morris. Hey, Mo, I told you, I've been in the fire. That's why I tell brothers, man. I go in it, like I said, when I used to be in our church, and I tell brothers, the only thing Morris had is the churches. No, with Drali, you with all in the churches, he figured it out. We all have to figure it out. They lied to us, and even our own people have put you back in slavery. They don't know what the Septuagint is. I tell Morris, this is a science. I have all religious books. I have all of them. Look, let me show you something else. So y'all gonna get me to showing y'all stuff. We must know this stuff. We must know this. All of you in here, watch this. Watch this, Morris, when people be talking about stuff. Where is that big boy at? Where that ugly book at? Oh, here it goes. This right here, the Book of Mormon, nothing to be afraid of. I'll break this down and show you all in this book, Morris. All in this book. But they don't want you to know. They go around connotating you. Because it's only one story, Morris. When you get into older writers, and I tell you, never with a J in the Hebrew, a dialect or no dialects, you get in other writings, other tongues. When I say with only one literature, and you see Joel is Yoel, you see John is Yan, you see all wise. See, Morris? I just show you something. You be like, what? You be like, huh? I just show you some things, Morris. I'll connect the dots all the way for you. Let me show you something else. Since I'm doing the science before we get into this, before I get into the wisdom, I'm gonna show you something, Morris. How you cracking up? Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Gonna trip you all out. When I say this is wisdom and I don't come from no religious perspective, I tell you, I have a master's degree in this science from the pseudo academia. Listen what I tell Moors. I talk just like this when I graduated. And I graduated with honors, with pens. And I said, I ain't Greek, I ain't European, I have a nationality. And I stood on my ground with history, with law, because nothing they can do. So if you don't know if you don't know nothing about this, if you don't study the wisdom, you lost. None spooky. You must know. You must know. When I be talking about Kabbalistically spelling, you must know. You must know, Moors. When I talk about things, for they can't get you with linguistic apartheid, with their stuff, with their crap. You got to know all of it. You got to know. You got to know the wisdom. I'm telling you, man, you got to know all this stuff. And if you're not willing to do this, stop playing. That's why all religious preachers, they be like, well, you know the truth, man, and this, that, and the other, and we don't study. Well, I'm trying to help you. That's why I tell my brothers, I be so serious with what I do. This ain't no joke with me. I have family that's preachers and thinking I talk to them. And if they don't, you lying to the people. So I back away from them. They don't even know what anti mean. Look at what the word anti mean. Replacement. So who is the replacement? Who is the antichrist? We tripping. We tripping. We tripping. The book of Yasher, which the scriptures talk about, it tell you prereqs. Prereqs. Don't you know what a prereq is? We all act like we so smart. Prereqs. Prereqs. Oh, yep. New Testament Apocrypha. Oh, what you mean? Yeah, you heard it. New Testament Apocrypha. New Testament Apocrypha. Yeah. You must know all the allegorical and the analogy and all that stuff. And all this pen stuff. So they can try to get you caught up in just a story. See, I know all this stuff. So I stand strong with anybody. With Hebrew Israelite brothers, I be laughing at them. I'm like, look, man, don't come right there with yelling at people if you don't know the tongue. I mean, I can go all the way with you, Moors. I go all the way with the wisdom. And we erase all spookism. We go all the way. I break every one of these texts down to show you. Every single one. When people be talking about they know something. They don't know nothing, Moors, because they're not studied. They're not doctors. Most people practicing malpractice and be afraid to tell the people they misdiagnosed them. You see what I'm talking about? You got to study everything. Brother be talking about the art of war. You don't even know nothing about no art and war if you don't even study enough. Talk about some art and war. If you study, you know what catechism is. You will know what it is. You will know what this is. You will know what this is and what religions this is all about. Come on, man. You will know. I'm making a mess. My wife gonna get me. Hey, honey. Then people be talking about Circle 7 with the K and all that. It's plenty of Circle 7. He go Quran with the K on it. He go Quran with the K on it. What? That's a regular Quran? Yeah. With the K on it. Yeah, I told Morris, I read everything. I study everything. No one can come with dogma. He got a Quran with the Q on it. Of course. Brother be talking stuff. Man, I can go on and on, man. I got a whole library. I got diction. Man, let me show you some more religious books where I can show you can't nobody come with you with no BS. When I tell you, Moors, I read all their stuff. I study all the wisdom. I broke down the whole book of Job. I did a lecture on the whole book of Job. He was just operating his lower self, doubting. We getting all caught up in some stories. I break all this stuff down, man. All the analogy and the allegorical stuff. When they come at you trying to tell you something because they think we don't study. And I'm just going to be honest, most Jewish people, they just read certain things that was given to them. They don't study nothing. I promise you. My professor was a priest. And he was like, man, you study everything. And I thought, man, that's where the Spirit took me. I stand strong on my square. There's nothing we can't know. There's nothing the brain can't do. That's why they want to study your brain so much. That's why when you die, your body works so much. How you think they make the pills out of certain people, Europeans, to sleep? What you think it's made out of? If you follow my scriptures, melanin. Melanin only come from one place. I'm telling you, Moors. Oh, here go the Kodak Sinaiticus. People be talking about, I said, I'll break it. They be like, I just hear people quoting. I say, man, I got all those books. I'll break them down for you, Moors. This is what we do. We share. I ain't breaking no more books out. Oh, I'll break the other 2 religious books out. Yeah, I will. I'll break this down. I don't know more. The Old Testament, the pseudographa. I know y'all know what this is. Oh, I forgot. My preachers and stuff. No, they don't. They don't even study. Apocalyptic literature and testaments. I hope we know what this is. Probably not. The Old Testament Pseudographia, Volume 2. So, Moors, we don't get caught up in nobody telling us some bull crap. And then you should know what the triple rose is. Man, I made a mess. Woo-wee. You got to understand what the reading list is and how that in academia tell you what to read. Let me see. Let me finish what I said. Okay, the master said, the Logos will give heed to what I say. No man can enter into the light till he has found himself. So go forth and search till you have found yourself or your soul, and then return. The guide led Jesus to a room in which the light was faint and mellow like the light of early dawn. The chamber walls were marked with mystic signs, with hieroglyphs. That's why I said our language, it wasn't just written with a letter, it had the hieroglyph, which was a symbol. All this stuff meant something, man. A hieroglyph and sacred text. In the chamber, Jesus found himself alone, where he remained for many days. He read the sacred text, thought out the meanings of the hieroglyph, and sought the importance of the master's charge to find himself. A revelation came. He got acquainted with his soul. He found himself. Then he was not alone. He found himself. And then he was not alone. Exactly. It's science. It's science. Allegorical science, Moors. Signs and symbols. You're getting caught up in the wrong thing. So let me give you all a little bit about this history, man, and I'm done because I got about 15 minutes left. I ain't going to go too long. I'm going what they didn't teach us in so-called black history. Moors were not modern Arabs. We say modern Arab because being Arab does not mean that one was a Moor. That one was not a Moor. The confusion comes in because Arab is a language group as well as a national identity. In modern times, modern Arab in the generic sense is anyone who speaks the language of Arabic, just like a Jew, anyone who believes in Judaism. Come on, man. Y'all got to know this. They have, and they tell you, when you get in modern Hebrew, they got that confused language. They get you with that Yiddish. They get you with that perverted Yiddish. Moors are what would be considered to be so-called African. However, the definition has changed over time, which leads to misnomers, Moors. You got to know what a misnomer is, I hope. North African, Berber, late 14th century, from Old French, M-O-R-E, from Medieval Latin, M-O-R-U-S, from Latin, M-A-U-R-U-S, inhabitant of Mauritania, Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to the northern Algeria and Morocco. From Greek Moros, perhaps a native name, or else cognate with Moros, M-A-U-R-O-S, black. But the adjective only appears in late Greek and may as well be from the people's name as the reverse Moors. Being a dark people in relation to Europeans, their name in the Middle Ages was a synonym for Negro Moors. Later, 16th century, 17th century, used indiscriminately for Muslims Moors, Persians, Arabs, etc. Moors, but especially those in India. If you don't believe me, look up etymology dictionary. You can find it for yourself. Look at what the Moors danced in circa 1480. Look up the carnival of the Ringling. Look this stuff up. When I be telling Moors about Sortie Piet in the Netherlands and what they called you, you got to know what nigger meant in their tongue. A person be talking about you, calling your name, you be smiling, laughing, all showing your teeth. which I see Negro black colors love to do, show their teeth. But the carnival tradition in Ringling goes back century Moors. The earliest mention of a carnival in the Ringling already comes from the end of the Middle Ages Moors. Ringling is the city of Moor, M-O-H-R, Landerers, as Reglingen, Riedlingen, once performed in a circus, was among other things a so-called black man, a Moor, with troops, Moors. The inhabitants of the city, which had previously never seen a black man, felt that this was an act of a white man who had not washed, Moors. They dragged him to the fountain on the square and tried to scrub the white Moor. It was no use. He was black. Since then, the hot ringling, the Moor scrubber, and a symbol for the figure Moor was created. The whitewash ritual, Moors. Research this stuff. After the gold, G-O-L-E, has moved into the city, followed on Wednesday evening in the town square. The whitewash, already in 50s. The custom of the ringling Moor scrubber was celebrated with joy. That's why in the biblical text, in Maccabees, they show you how the heathen, how the Europeans tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. When I break down my book, the Russian Icona by Vladimir Ivanov, I don't like to pull it out because it's in my storage library. It's an expensive book. They show you how they changing all the figures. Even that Icona, they show you how they changing the figures. So it ain't me, it's their pen. Don't get mad at it. I'm just a philosopher, a theosophist, a scholar, not know with no fake degrees. I don't come from no biasness. I love everybody. But then adjust again over the years at the newly established groups of travelers, M-O-H-R, and the Washwinberg, W-A-S-C-H-W-E-I-B-E-R-N. The whitewash was then brought back from a deep sleep in the 750th anniversary of the city in 2005. That's why I be telling Moors, you want to sign some sovereign stuff like you some European? That's bull crap. And they know that's not more science. How you think the Haitians got sold back in slavery? Y'all got to understand this science, man. A well-known personality who has rendered outstanding services to Ringling, but is not born in the city, is pre-selected in secret and presented as a big surprise to the Assembly Foolish Citizens, ECT, before it is then brought to the stage and washed in a wash tub for real Ringling Moor. Research it. Moabite, ancient Moorish language, is Kemetic. What they call Semitic is Moabite, also known as Phoenician. In this case, it's clearly Kemetic. Check out the progression. And I got the page. I have to show it up like I showed you in the ancient alphabet. The YHWH is in the Egyptian alphabet. I show you the history. Especially boys call themselves Egyptologists. I give the history. Is no argument. You can find the YHWH in the Egyptian alphabet if you understand what all the signs and symbols mean. I have to get it out and show you in my book. I showed it all. Matter of fact, I hate just talking. I got to show and prove. I hate just talking. Let's see. I might have pulled the wrong. Let's see. Do I got it in this book? Here we go. Let me show you something, Moors. You see the YHWH in the Egyptian alphabet. Here we go. I'm gonna read this to you. I'm gonna get back to the lecture. You gotta know what the signs and symbols mean. You can't let nobody connotate you because they scared and they don't know nothing. They keep talking about some European masonry, and I keep told you, we not no mason. You get the 32 and 33 degrees when Noble Drew Ali gave you the fez. Your turban. You should know something under your hippocampus. So let me tell you what this is. For my Moors, using this ancient Egyptian alphabet, we can translate this. Monument of Pharaoh. The two paddle-like symbols represent the Y in ancient Egyptian. The H is the symbol that looks like a sideways G, and the other H is the rope-like image, and the bird symbol is the W. Add the letters together and you get YHWH. Unmistakably, brothers and sisters. My Moors, my Moorises, my Empresses, my Hebrew brothers, my Hebrewesses, my Moabites, my Moabitises. But this pharaoh mentions YHWH on his monument. It actually reads, and I quote, the land of Shashu, S-H-A-S-U, of YHWH. You got to understand what that means. If you are a true Egyptologist, Moors, you should be able to read these ancient Egyptian symbols using Egypt's ancient alphabet. There is another beautiful point to be made here, Moors. This proves that if you have the alphabet of a civilization, that you can go backwards in time and read the artifacts and manuscripts. You don't have to attend a government-sponsored institution. When I be talking about scholarship, when Moors get mad when I say, well, it's scholarship, they say, well, I ain't going, well, you mean everybody go to college? I say, man, I said scholarship. A certain way you study, fool. I ain't said nothing about college. That's when I talk about the Paleo Hebrew and ancient Egyptian. That's what I talk about, Moors. Paleo. Get into the, don't let nobody get you with a religious dogma. More in due form positions at Atlantis, Moors. When the anthropologists saw underwater images of the city and saw some stone monoliths, some symbol and inscriptions they identified with Olmec motive, they were very surprised. The Olmecs devolved from the survivors of Atlantis, a much superior culture, destroyed after the end of the Ice Age. The world was reshaped and a super civilized destroyed. Remember, for millennia, only a legend and a passing reference by the philosopher Plato. But Atlantis was real, Moors. It's real. Scientist Paul Winswig and Pauline Zalitsky, they found it. Sonar images of mega structures on the seabed, Moors. Lemur, exactly, Mo. Moabite Phoenicians in Europe. Omorica or Amorica is the name given in ancient times to the part of Gaul, Gaul, between the Seine and Loire rivers that include the Brittany Peninsula, extending inland to the intermediate point and down the Atlantic coast, Moors. The toponia is based on the Gaulish phrase Armoron, at the sea, Moors, made into the Gaulish place name what? Armorica. Armorica, placed by the sea. The suffix, the IKA, was first used to create adjectival forms and then names. You can see regions such as Pays de Ouch from Utica and Perch from Pertica. The original destination was vague, including a large part of what became Normandy in the 10th century. And in some interpretations, Moors, the whole of the coast down to the Garonne River. Later, the term became restricted to Brittany, Moors. In Britain, when I show you my boy David Mackie Ritchie, the ancient and modern Britons, when I show you all over, which belongs to the Bryonic branch of the insular Celtic languages, along with the Welsh and the Cornish. On the sea is Warvor, Welsh, Are ye more? Though the older form, Arvor, is used to refer to the coastal regions of Brittany, in contrast to Aragod, Aeronot, Cod. I hope y'all follow me. Forest Welsh are good, cold trees for the inland regions, Moors. These content modern usages suggest that the Romans first contacted coastal people in the inland region and assumed the regional name Armorica referred to the whole area, both coastal and inland. Pliny the Elder, in his Natural History, 217-105, claims that Armorica was the older name for the Aquitania, stating Armorica's southern boundary extended to the Pyrenees. Taking it into account the Gaulish origin of the name, this is perfectly correct in logic, Moors, as Armorica is not a country name, but a word that describes a type of geographical region, Moors. A region that is by the sea. The Iberians were a set of people that Greek and Roman sources, among others, Hectactius of Miletus, Avianus, Herodotus, and Strabo identified with the name in the eastern and the southern coast of the Iberian Peninsula, at least from the 6th century BC, Moors. Log back in, we about to fall off. We're finna get deep. Peace.
You just be ending it like that?
It be cutting it off because it can go for an hour, then we have to start over on Instagram. So I start putting some stuff back into white people about it.
Oh, you can't start over?
The second part. I ain't got to the second part yet.
Oh.
I broke all this stuff off. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. You don't have to put it back.
What? I'm gonna put it back.
Okay, you don't gotta put it back. I don't know what order you want it in.
All right, Morris. I'll give you all a chance to log back on. This is finna get deep. It's getting ready to get even deeper.